What's going on, good people out there? It is another glorious day to be listening to the JayNAS Podcast. We are here to deliver you the latest in PC, console, retro, and Nintendo news. And as always, I'm joined by my good buddy, Jason616. He needs no introduction. He is our local retro and a Nintendo expert and everything you need to know in that category. He knows everything and more, and apparently a lot about kettlebells and kettle pots. So so if you need some kettle pots made with your urn and a clay pot, pile of clay that's moulding and stuff, he's your man. So, mate, Jace, welcome back to the podcast again. Podcast number 13, I believe this is. Lucky, unlucky, that's not so lucky, lucky 13. So, how you feeling today, man?
Yeah, well, you'll have to bear with me. I'm getting over the worst head cold. It's been kicking my ass since our last podcast, so my voice might be going. But other than that, no, all good. Just been doing my research on kettle pots and stuff like that. And if people don't know what we're talking about, it's a conversation we just had before we started this. And I don't even know how kettle pot came into it, but I can't remember.
I can't even remember the conversation we just had. It was something happened. Yeah, something about foundations. Something about foundations with the clay when we've made our own kettle pots. Something like that.
No,
you know what you need when you have a clue. When you got a flu or head cold, and all that. You know what you need?
What?
A cup of tea. You know how you make a cup of tea?
Kettle pot.
From a kettle pot. You know what kettle pots are run from?
What's that?
Kettle cords. They're run from kettle cords. So
well, I'm not the expert on these. It's you. You're the expert on this.
Mate, I'm just making shit up as I go. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I bullshitted my way to a victory today on Twitch. Become an affiliate. Yes. I bullshitted my way to one of them.
That's right. So for people that aren't aware, Jason just went a Twitch affiliate on Twitch, which is really awesome. For people that don't know what Twitch is, you're an idiot. But Twitch is the most popular streaming platform for multiple users, everything from gaming, vlogs, just,
people talking, literally.
People talking, yeah, just everything to do with a camera or microphone or, all that sort of stuff, doing live podcasts, all that sort of stuff, which was something we plan to do one day. We might do a live podcast one day, but so big congratulations to Jason616. I'm going to do a crowd cheering sound effect right now.
Hey, there I am.
So there you go. There's all your stuff there, mate. So that's really awesome to hear.
Thank you.
But so mate, there's a lot of juicy stuff. The internet is blowing up. It is melting. It is going into nuclear meltdown. There is lots of stuff happening. There's lots of stuff that's not happening. There's so much stuff that's happening. What's not happening is the question that we are asking ourselves. And of course, today I would like to talk about one of the youngest people ever, not really, to win one of the biggest prizes ever, not really, on one of the most popular games ever, not really, winning, a 16-year-old winning the $3 million in the solo Fortnite tournament. I'm going to have a bit more of a chat about that. And of course, again, this is probably what is melting down the internet, is about Ninja has turned his back on Twitch and is leaving Twitch for Mixer, and which is absolutely insane. That's going off. The new Call of Duty.
Awesome. That's the one.
Well, COD. There's a whole bunch of fish on duty. So yes, Call of Duty. COD, Modern Warfare. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, the remake. It is. I'm going to have a bit of a chat about that. GTA Online. I mentioned stuff about GTA Online last week. A lot of controversy. In certain areas of countries around the world. I'm going to talk a bit more about GTA Online tonight. Of course, my usual honourable mentions, which I cannot wait to talk about, and of course my usual do you feel old yet, Jace? What have you juicy, gossipy, meltdown, toxic, nuclear waste stuff have you got to discuss with us tonight?
Well, I've got a lot of smaller bits of news, but I've got a lot of that. You know what I mean? I've got smaller bits, but a lot. The Switch is getting a new shooter.
What, kettle pots?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. No, the Switch is getting a brand new shooter, which I'll talk about. It's based off of a movie, but it is getting a shooter, as well as some other games that are coming to the Switch this month of August and a bit later, as well as some of Nintendo's actual figures on how they are doing with games and how many units they've sold and why they are top of the food chain at the moment, as well as I've just got some other little bits and pieces some fun facts and some honourable mentions as well. Something to do with Goldeneye, which is great. Goldeneye comes back up, yeah. So that's just a bit of fun, but I'll talk about that later. And of course, this day in gaming.
Yes, for sure. Yes, cool, man. Well, are you ready to get this thing rolling?
Yes, let's go.
Excellent. Alrighty, so grab those earlobes, turn your earbuds off and on, and pull them out because your eardrums are about to burst. You are about to experience all the best in kettle cords and kettle pots and the latest in PC console, retro and Nintendo gaming. Let's do it. Alright, so as I mentioned before, the first thing I would like to talk about is, of course, Ninja. The internet is going into a obliteration of a nuclear meltdown about Ninja ditching Twitch for exclusive streaming deal with Mixer. So his quote is simply, "It's the same me, just a different platform." So, but whatever. Possibly overshadowing today's release of Fortnite Season 10. Who cares? Fortnite's alright. I can't argue with that. It's got the biggest numbers of any game in history, apart from League of Legends, CSGO and all that sort of stuff. So I can't really say that. Actually, a quick side note. I remember I put up a post up on. I responded to a tweet about. What was it? I'll probably bring it up on the screen in a minute. I'll find it. I'll bring it up on the screen. Who was it? I think it was Twitch, like the Twitch homepage of Twitter or something like that. Oh, it was something like it was either Twitter's homepage or Twitch's homepage or something like that. About all the pros come together for the Fortnite tournament, Fortnite World Cup. Or something like that. And there's a lot of people on there saying, Fortnite sucks this and Fortnite shit that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Fortnite. I don't really even like Battle Royales. But I tweeted, I responded, I said, I'm not a Fortnite fan, but congratulations to all pros and good luck to all pros participating. And it's being a pro in any game is the greatest achievement. It's a great achievement. So, and a few people come back and said, thanks very much. They've got nothing to do with the tournament, but they're like, thanks very much. That we appreciate people, not being so toxic towards this game, because I love the game. Some people don't, and it's okay to hate a game. Well,
because there's probably games that you like that I don't, and I like that you don't, and that we both like that no one likes, and we're the loners in the corner. But everyone loves their own game. Everyone knows what their game is.
I can understand when people start dishing mobile gamers. People wake up and they play the mobile games and stuff like that, and that's all they play. They don't have consoles, they don't have PCs, it's all on mobile. And they go, they're not real gamers. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you are right, because mobile gamers do suck. But it makes them happy. It makes them laugh, it makes them giggle, it gives them something to look forward to and all that sort of stuff. But it's
my partner does that before bed. She just goes on her phone and is there, and she gets carried away with it. She'll be on it for like an hour, and I'm like, go to fuck to sleep. What are you doing? You got work in the morning. Do this at another stage.
Don't worry, Samuel L. Jackson. Have you seen that? Samuel L. Jackson's Go to Fuck to Sleep. He's reading.
Yeah. It's like getting into bed is for two things. One of them's sleeping, and the other one isn't, and it's not for being on a phone. So
that's
get off the fucking phone.
Yes, go the fuck to sleep. Yeah, so look, I've got nothing personal against anything at all to do with Fortnite. Anyone that plays Fortnite, good on people that play Fortnite. Anyone that plays games of what gets them out of bed and all that sort of stuff. So Tyler Ninja Blevins, there we go, Blevins, announced that he's leaving Twitch to stream exclusively with Mixer, effective immediately. The announcement was made via a Forks press conference. Or Faux, I don't know, press conference.
Forks, I think it's Forks.
Forks, F-A-U-X, Forks.
Forks, I think,
on Ninja's Twitter, which you can watch below. We don't know the terms and agreement, length of payment, or whether Ninja will face any restrictions on Microsoft's streaming platform, but Ninja assures the fictional press conference crowd that... well, that's a... Okay. Yeah, righto. That the same me, just a different platform. Oh, because of his trailer. It was kind of like his trailer was kind of like movie made, and the people he was talking to weren't really real people. They were like CGI or made up or whatever, or they were like just actors or whatever. I didn't really see it, but I saw bits and pieces of it, but you get the idea of it. So so that's really interesting. The whole entire internet has just gone really nuts. I believe even PewDiePie started streaming on Mixer. I could be wrong about that. I'm happy to admit that I'm wrong about that. So yeah, I mean, I'll do a bit more research, but I've heard there's other streaming platforms that are starting to grow steam, and they need people like PewDiePie and Ninja to come over, start streaming on them, because it will just build platform. And I like hearing other social media platforms starting to take over, because I'm waiting for one that will basically replace YouTube, because YouTube has just gotten too big for itself. It's gotten too greedy, it's gotten too fat, and it needs to be knocked off the top, because they need, content creators need something more fair. They really do, because all I see is everyone getting screwed. I know people whinge, I know people whine, and I don't know the inside out of all the rules and regulations and monetizations of YouTube, but all I know is that years ago it was easier to make money on YouTube. And you can't promise people money and then take it away from them, because that's literally what's happened.
I mean, I understand, like, YouTube to an extent. Like, when you think about it, they're a free-to-use platform. So you can put your videos up, and obviously, for them to get paid, they take a portion of what you do. It only makes sense, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because if they're completely free and they're paying us all this money, like, what are they getting out of it? So
yeah,
you understand that they've got to get something out of it, but when they're monetizing every little thing we do, if we say one little swear word, we're screwed. If we use one bit of audio, we're screwed. And then now there's people that want to actually charge for royalty-free music. So we're screwed. The only music we'll be able to use is ones we create ourselves, and if we're not music creators, then what the hell do? We get videos just monetized left, right, and center. You can't even use a photo. Like, it gets harder, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm not going to step away from content creation on YouTube. I'll always do that. But that's why I've been building up my Twitch recently as well, because for me, I put up a video the other day and it was just completely monetized, and it's like, I don't know how it got that way, because I didn't have any sound on in the game. And I was like, how the hell is that video being monetized? What have I done in that video? I don't get it.
Well, the funny thing is, I remember watching a video with the quartering not long ago, and I mean, it's pretty simple structure of how YouTube works, and it's a lot of advertisement monetization of how a lot of platforms perform these days. And for example, YouTube has come out and said there are a much more channel. There are millions upon millions of channels out there that actually are qualified for monetization, but there just aren't enough companies that come to, just like how we would on Facebook. We pay $30 for ads to come out for a few days, and that what we pay allows ads, and that's been happening for years. You ring 30 years ago, you ring up a radio station, and they'll say, well, we've got these packages. You can have a 15-second ad or a 30-second ad, and that can be played twice a day for 10 days, or 4 times a day for 5 days. And the times, if you want it done in exclusive times where more people are most likely to be listening to radio, then you'll need to pay extra money to have it played during those times, and all that sort of stuff. And so a company will buy that package, and then what happens is they will say, I want it and I want all of my videos, I want all my ads played on the top, somewhere in the top 1,000 most watched YouTube channels, and all that sort of stuff. They don't want anything less. And basically that's why the big dogs get all the extra money, because they get those ads, because there are more people watching it. If they're going to invest the money, they want people to watch it and all that sort of stuff, or something like that. And what YouTube has said, there's just not enough ads to go around for everybody. So if there's more people on monetization than there are people investing money in ads and where they want their ads to go, then they can't exactly please everyone. And I can understand that, but they've created a foundation that will allow people to monetize. So they're promising monetization for the channel, but they can't provide money. So it's like saying to someone, I run this business, come and work for me, turn up on my doorstep any day you want money, come and work for me, spend a day's work and I'll pay you. And then you go there, knock on the door, righto, I'm going to come here, righto, sweep this and lay this and move that and do this, and at the end of the day you go, righto, can I get paid? Yeah, sure, mate. Here, I've got 10 cents. Hang on a second, wait a minute, how come that guy gets paid $100 that guy gets paid $20, and I'm doing the same thing and I get 10 cents. And say, well, I haven't got enough to go around, mate. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
blah,
exactly.
So
exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's harsh.
It is, and then he'll come and your boss comes up with all these millions of excuses why he couldn't pay you money. So it's. I mean, I know. I'm happy to say that I'm taking this a little bit out of context, but as what the quartering has also come out and said, he's also saying that now people, because it's so easy for people just to click a button and take the monetization off your window, and they can claim the royalties from your video. Because you can be apparently using their content or something that they own in your video to make money, so therefore they should take part of your money or all of your money. And it's easy to do it. People just do it with one click of a button. 9 times out of 10, YouTube won't investigate it. They'll just give that person the money because YouTube believes people wouldn't be doing it for no reason. But now YouTube...
Yeah, and that's the fun fact. I mean, they probably get more out of that video than what you will. Even though you've done all the bloody work.
Exactly. And now quartering has come out saying that YouTube's now changed its rules to say that they will be thoroughly now, they've got a team dedicated to investigate that if someone reports your thing and you decide to appeal of why people are taking your money where you've done nothing wrong, now YouTube will now give you a stamp and they'll say, okay, someone has claimed your the person that claims your video, that person has to state exactly what part of the video, what it is, what time frame in the video it was, why they are claiming it, how do they own it, and all this sort of stuff. So they have to jump all through all these hoops. It's not a simple click of a button now. So copy strike, that's the word I'm looking for. Copy strike.
Copyright strike, yeah.
Copyright strike. So they now have to jump through all these hoops before they can do anything, and then you can appeal. And then before they even take the money, you have the opportunity to go, right, I'll just cut that out of my video, and therefore I won't earn as much money from the video originally, but at least I'll have some money. So you'll cut that from the video, or you'll take it out of the video, or you'll do this and you'll do that. And either way, at the end of the day, the person's having a win because you're using some of their content. And if you get rid of that content, or you take the video down, or whatever you've got to do, everyone's happy because originally, if that person is basically saying that's not fair, they're making money from my product. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. You're just not making the money, and they weren't going to get money in the first place. So everyone's happy, everyone wins, and it gets rid of the people that are just quickly trying to make a few bucks, just copy strike everyone for no reason and get all this money.
Yeah, because it's like, here you go, here's my video. Say you got $10. So you got $10, and it's like, oh, copyright claim. Well, Jason, even though you put the video up and you did everything, here's your share of 2. There's their share of 8.
Yes. Exactly. Well, that was a big bang. Jesus.
What was that?
So that was me dropping my can of mother into my empty rubbish bin because I forgot it was empty, and I forgot I was recording, and I forgot it would make noise because I'm an idiot. So anyway, that is topic number 1 for me, mate. What have you got for us?
All right, well, talking about ads, on my little research page here that I've got up, I've got tons of McDonald's burgers just scattered around the page. I kid you not, there's like 4 ads just on the top alone with just the same burger like 14 times. So I wonder how much they're getting monetized for this. No, I'm just joking. Alright, the Nintendo Switch. I'm going to cover 2 topics in one because I've got, like I said, a lot of small things to get through. So, so the Switch is getting a new shooter. Movies. Did you ever watch Zombieland?
No.
Never watched Zombieland? Good old Bill Murray. Cameo from Bill Murray. Great. And the new Zombieland trailer has dropped. The Zombieland Double Tap. Well, the Switch is getting Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip as a game. Based on the Zombieland movies. So it's a co-op shooter based on the Zombieland movies that's been announced for Nintendo Switch. The game will be called Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip. So the game is inspired by the story, characters, and humour and horror of both Zombieland and the upcoming Zombieland 2. And it is set after the events of the first movie and is said to be a ridiculously fun top-down twin-stick shooter. So it's co-op multiplayer. So you'll be playing the heroes from the original film, as well as the new unlockable characters from the upcoming sequel. You'll also need to use special abilities, an arsenal of weapons, and more to survive against the huge numbers of the undead. It's a story-based campaign mode, wave-based horde mode, and ongoing daily and weekly challenges to enjoy. It will be launching on the 15th of October this year. Getting ready for Halloween. So, yep. And players can get their hands on it 3 days before the new movie drops. So it's a good way of teasing the new film. So yeah, that sounds like good fun. And also, a game that returns to Switch just next week is Turok 2 Seeds of Evil is coming onto the Switch. 9th of August. Lovers of the 64-bit generation are in for a treat when a remastered version of Turok 2 releases on the Switch eShop. According to listings on Nintendo UK website, the remaster by Night Dive Studios is based on the original 1998 release and will require approximately 596 megabytes of free space. So much. So it's the same. It's pretty much just a remaster of Turok 2. Turok has been missing for a little while, to be fair. I haven't really heard much from the Turok camp. I don't know if you played much Turok.
Oh, mate, I played the original on Nintendo 64. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, so this one is the remaster of the 64 Turok 2. I don't know if Turok 1 already made it on. I can't. Either way.
Turok was great. Great game, Turok.
Yeah, so keep an eye on the limited run games release as well. They're going to do a special hard copy of the game, which should arrive in the third quarter of 2019. But you can get it on the eShop in 7 days' time. So that should be a bit of fun. Turok. I do have Turok here on the 64. I've got the cartridge. It was good fun. It honestly was good fun. So, yeah, there's 2 games that are coming to Switch. I'll throw it back to you.
Cool. Awesome, dude. Awesome. So, the second thing I would like to talk about on the back of the whole Ninja leaving Twitch, Fortnite, Ninja being one of the biggest Fortnite streamers and all that sort of stuff. So, as I mentioned before, 16-year-old wins the solo $3 million Fortnite tournament. So, the first ever Fortnite World Cup has ended with $30 million worth of prizes awarded to one teenager from Pennsylvania walking away with $3 million richer. So, if you think of playing video games doesn't pay, go talk to 16-year-old Kyle Gerstoff. As Polygon reports yesterday, Buger managed to win solos competition for the first Fortnite World Cup and walked away with $3 million in prize money. He managed to score 59 points over 6 rounds, comfortably beating second place player Harrison Sam Chang, who scored just 33. So, I remember seeing this. I remember sharing on Facebook and I remember saying, I dare anyone to tell me that gaming gets you nowhere. And of course, my sister takes a deep breath and replies to my post, ready, challenge accepted, Fortnite gaming gets you nowhere. I'm like, yeah, apparently not. So basically, as the digital world starts to evolve and form and get more popular, and like I said, I've said it before, I think I've said it on my podcasts in the past, and I've said it to so many people, and even this day and age where I talk to people about what I do as a side hustle and all that sort of stuff, people still sort of look at you a little bit confused, raise their eyebrows, turned head of, how do you spend so much time gaming, why do you game so much? It's starting to become more socially accepted. But I couldn't really give a fuck what people think. But that's the fun part of getting old, is that you care less about what people think. So
I understand that, though. I understand that because I'm giving less of a crap about what... I mean, in the world, when we're putting ourselves out there, we can't take to heart what people think of us because then we'll never survive. We're just going to be in the ocean just being eaten alive by sharks. We just can't let it affect us. You are who you are, and if people don't like that, then fuck off. It's simple as that.
Exactly, mate. I mean, the eSports world has been around since the late 80s, early 90s, and it all started off with arcade cabinets and all that sort of stuff, but especially in the last probably 5 years, eSports has grown massively. It's still in its infancy, not so much in like a lot of European countries and North America, but it's still, eSports is still in its infancy. And basically, it's premonition that the eSports industry is going to be worth in the billions, and they are premonitioning in about 10 years' time there will be more people sitting in front of their PCs or on their phones or tablets streaming live World Cup events like Fortnite or something like that than watching the Super Bowl. People will be like that, and people are like, well, how's that even possible? And I say, well, I'll explain why. It's very simple. It's a very simple concept. When you go onto Twitch and you see all these games getting streamed, you'll find that the average age of person that is streaming is from around about 12 to 16, right? That's some of the more popular streamers, the more popular age of people playing games and streaming. And the first thing this person reacts and says, well, yes, right? More kids play video games. Says, well, yeah, I know what you mean. Don't genderise, mate. The older people like to play games as well, you fuckhead. So, so a lot of kids like to play games, whatever. But imagine a 13-year-old that's a really popular streamer and plays a lot of popular games and loves doing it and does it for fucking 6 hours a day, and he still does his schoolwork and all this sort of stuff, and gets a lot of support from his parents, and still exercises and all that sort of stuff, and it keeps himself well and all this sort of jazz and that sort of stuff. So basically, that 13-year-old in 10 years' time will be 23, and I can guarantee that kid's routine for the next 10 years will be playing games, streaming, watching other streamers, playing games, streaming, watching other streamers, right? And then, of course, at the age of 23, I can guarantee he'll probably have his own kids. He might even have a little 1-year-old. Probably had a baby at the age of 21, 22. I mean, I work with a 21-year-old at the moment who's getting married next year, right? So I had my oldest daughter, Tanisha, at the age of 21. What's to say these 13-year-olds won't have kids as well by the time they're 23? At least one, a little baby or something like that. So what I'm saying is, in 10 years' time, the mature adult audience that are parents, that are that have got steady jobs, they're tradesmen, or they might have just gotten out of college or whatever, they've now gotten into this culture, this routine over 10 years of streaming, playing games, and watching other streamers. Streaming, playing games, watching other streamers. In 10 years' time, this culture, this age group will be old enough to basically be the forefront stamp of what the average male or female parent or mature age person or the working class person is of America or Australia or Europe, what their usual routine is. And I can guarantee 80% of them will be watching streams and not sports.
Funny you say that. Because I actually have a story. I was streaming Super Mario 64 last week. I was doing the 120 star run. And a guy came on and was saying hello. And I didn't know him from a bar of soap. And they said that they had watched a few of my streams before but stayed quiet. And the reason they don't talk is because his kids like Mario and Pokemon, and they just browse around Twitch and find people playing some of the games they like, and they put it on the main screen and watch it as a family in the evening as opposed to watching TV. So this guy said he enjoyed some of mine before but wanted to actually talk this time because they saw I was playing Super Mario 64, and his two kids, which were 4 and 6, and keep in mind I'm playing a game from 20 years ago, were loving that game and had watched my 2 previous Super Mario 64 streams. So when he saw I was online, came in, and they had me in the living room all watching me stream while he was on his mobile talking to me. And they would rather do that than watch TV and watch movies.
You know what's really funny about that? I was doing a DNI for a family a few weeks back. And I was like installing, because I mean, again, about that, I don't know that I sell fitness equipment for a living at the moment. So I went to someone's house to install their fitness equipment for them, and I saw the same thing. This family, the mum and father, were probably in their late 40s or early 50s, and they had a really nice big fancy house. And I saw what was going on. I saw what was happening. Because they had a daughter. They had a daughter probably maybe in her late teens, early 20s. And I saw exactly what was happening. The TV downstairs, they had a big, massive 65-inch TV, and one of those smart TVs. And as I'm walking back and forth, I'm looking past this TV, and I'm like, that's Fortnite. They've got fucking Fortnite playing on there. And I'm like, who are these 50-year-old parents watching Fortnite on a big smart screen TV? And I knew exactly what was happening. The daughter's upstairs on her PC, because I could see her, how they got like the camera in the corner and all that sort of stuff, blah, blah, blah.
And they're watching her.
They're watching her play Fortnite, streaming, and I think she must have been in a tournament or something. She might have been in a tournament or something like that. So they're sitting there watching her play games in a tournament and probably heroes. Supporting her and probably rooting for her and all that sort of stuff. They're kicking back with a couple of beers, cup of coffee. They're eating their, I don't know, I think they were Fijian as well, actually. So sitting back eating their eating bloody corn chips and all that sort of stuff. So while they're watching their daughter upstairs stream and try and win tournaments and win prizes and
That is damn cool. Good on them.
Yeah, man. I was like, fuck me dead. And I was like, kid, and this is what I'm talking about. In 10 years' time, it's going to be that tenfold. I mean, I can see, I can see now. Like, I mean, there'll be early 20-year-olds that game and stream and all that sort of stuff now. Like, there are heaps of 20-odd-year-olds that game and stream, and they're probably on the verge of, having kids themselves. And in 10 years' time, they'll be in their early 30s. They'll probably if there's a pro gamer out there who's probably 22, 23, has a kid next year. In 10 years' time, his kid will be 10, well 9 or whatever, and his kid will probably start streaming. And do you know what I mean? The culture is literally there. It's already been born. It just needs to mature. It's in its infancy, and that culture is just going to grow, and it's going to be worth billions. And I can see now, if I look at this post now, in 10 years' time, I reckon there'll be and I put a post, the most recent post of this kind next to it, I can guarantee that this kid that's just won $3 million for solos in Fortnite, I can see it being another popular game, but instead of 3 million, it'll be 30 million. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what it'll be, and there won't be millions of people watching it. There'll be billions of people watching it. Yeah. So, and it won't be Fortnite. It'll be fork knife, or
fork and knife, like cutlery stab.
It'll be fart right or something. I don't know. So, but yeah, man. So, and that's the whole entire industry in a nutshell, really. But mate, that is my second topic. Cool. Back to you, good buddy.
Nintendo figures recently. I just want to show how much this is really Nintendo is really kicking ass, and I say they're doing things amazingly. So Super Mario Maker 2, we all know it has been an insanely popular release. Like, it's blowing up everywhere on YouTube, on Twitch, everywhere. It's just crazy. Well, Nintendo officially released their financials for the 3 months ending on the 30th of June. So that's April to June. Now, keep in mind that Mario Maker 2 got off to what Nintendo has called a good start by selling 2.42 million copies worldwide. Okay, now that is insane.
I could just imagine the conversation back in the head offices in Japan. Do you think that is a good number? Yeah, I think that is a good number. Do you really think that's a good number? That sounds more Chinese, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but you know
what
I'm saying.
It does. Now, that sounds crazy, right? Well, keep in mind, now that covers April through to June, and the game was only released on the 28th of June. So you probably worked it out already. That means it managed to sell 2.42 million copies in just the first 3 days of its release.
We do good.
What the hell? Now, keep in mind, like, it's the level of success Nintendo's having is crazy. I mean, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was huge when that came out as well, and when that launched, it sold 1.2 million copies in the first 5 days in Japan alone. So, and that then it managed to then it had surpassed 3 million sales in the US within a week and a half. So, that is just going ballistic. And as well, 3-month time frame, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had 1.2 million units sold. So it's going ballistic, Not to mention, adding on to the statistics, Nintendo Switch has now sold 36.87 million units and could pass the SNES's total if it keeps going this way up until Christmas time. So it could be popular than the Super Nintendo. Now, who would have thought that? The Super Nintendo, stands in its own. But the Switch has done so well that it could surpass the Super Nintendo. I mean, here's the best-selling Nintendo Switch games as of their last financials that came in on the 30th of June. So, at 10 is Mario Tennis Aces with 2.75 million copies sold. 1-2 Switch, 3.1 million. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, 4.1. Super Mario Party, 6.99 million. Splatoon 2, 9.02 million. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee, 10.98 million. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 13.61. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 14.73. Super Mario Odyssey 14.94, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 17.89 million units sold.
Oh, we do good.
We do good. But you can only imagine. Now keep in mind, most of those games go for 70, maybe $90.
Yeah.
That's American dollars as well. That's not even Australian dollars. So, shitting hell. That's only 10 games.
You can imagine. The CEO of Nintendo. What's his name? Hakanawa, fucking Tsunami, wherever his name is, knocking on the door of Toyota. Ha ha ha! How much money you made last 3 days? Ha ha ha!
It's funny though, because when you think about it, Nintendo Mario Tennis Aces was 10th on the list at 2.75 million, right? But what we said was in 3 days, 2.42 million copies of Super Mario Maker. That's almost beat the 10th pole position in 3 fucking days. That is unreal. It's completely unreal. I mean, what? What the?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that's why Nintendo are doing all things right, and good on them, because they'll be here for years to come. They're a staple. I think Mario is honestly the biggest video game character, and you just see Mario and you just know who he is. So even if you're not a video game person, with Mario leading the helm, they'll never go down, I don't think. Although the Wii U was a sketchy ride, but but honestly, yeah, they're gonna be here to stay, and they're doing good things. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought that was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
That is insane. That is insane, mate. That is absolutely nuts. That is insane, and like I said, it's just hilarious. I mean, the CEO of Nintendo's probably got a really big head now, and he's probably thinking that the Japanese car companies like Toyota and Mitsubishi have got nothing on him now. So
I know. Well, they're putting all their money into the kettle pot.
Can you imagine when because all the biggest businesses in Japan always have those yearly meetings about most successful people in Japan and the biggest CEOs, and they all get together in the one room and they all get really drunk, and he probably walks up to the Mitsubishi guy and goes, "Ha ha, Mitsubishi, more like Mitsu shitty."
I can just imagine that as a Matt Stone and Trey Parker kind of gag.
Yeah, something like that. And they're like, "Hey, he make a fun of our car."
Chimpo, come on.
Yeah. And he probably goes, "No, seriously, we want to put Nintendo Switch in your Mitsubishi." Or something like that.
Are we coming across as racist now?
No, Japanese people have got a great sense of humour. They're really funny.
Well, we are Australian. We're known to be the most racist country in the world.
Second racist country. It's just that America don't... No offence to all my American friends, but America don't realise how racist they actually are. So, I mean, there's nothing more racist than using the colours of your flag to think that you can say whatever the fuck you want to anyone at any time. And if they get offended, they're the arsehole. So... don't get me wrong, I don't like the next snowflake as much as anyone, but it's every 5 minutes you have a conversation with an American, and if you say, look, it's not really a really nice thing to say, and you just get told, fuck you, this is America. It's like, righto, mate, calm down. My heart bleeds fucking red and white and 50 stars. Righto, okay, calm down. Whatever, mate. So
they're very... They are definitely patriotic.
And don't, not to mention Africa. I mean, South Africa's pretty bad as well. So we're actually not that bad. We're getting better.
South Africa's not that bad. South Africa's
no, South Africa's worse than us. We're not that bad compared to South Africa. We're not bad. No, they won't care. Plus, no one really listens to this podcast anyway. So, no. No, they're all right. They know they're funny. They know we're funny. They've got a great sense of humour.
It's funny that the one person that will probably listen to this will probably be South African and be annoyed at us, because that's the kind of luck we normally get.
Probably, just a mention.
Shout out to our South African listeners.
Yes, but I'm not directing. But the funny thing is, I'm not directing to any particular race, am I?
No,
I said Americans. I said Africans. It could be anyone. So
we're swimming with sharks here, and it's fun.
Yes. Well. Yeah. But we are the shark slayers. What? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go with that. All right, I'll throw it back to you.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Cool. So, the next thing I would like to talk about is something really awesome and really huge. The Call of Duty Modern Warfare open beta dated for September will include crossplay. That's pretty awesome and pretty exciting. When I heard about that this morning from watching one of Jack Fragg's little videos, I thought that was pretty awesome and pretty exciting as well. Basically, with it, as I was mentioning before, is that so the Call of Duty Modern Warfare open beta dated for September will include crossplay, which is really mind-blowing, to be honest. So the classic remake is coming in October, but before it gets here, players will have the chance to give its multiplayer action a shot of courtesy of a couple of weekends of beta testing. The first weekend test is exclusive to PlayStation 4, which isn't really our bag, but maybe you've got a PS4 and you won't want to wait. So here you go, early access beta for people who have pre-ordered the game will run September 12 to 13, while the open beta for PS4 only, which is for the open beta for PS4 only, goes for 14 to 16. So PC, Xbox One pre-order beta, PS4 open beta will be 19 and 20. And again on September 21 and 23. So the second week beta will also include crossplay testing, which could be interesting, but not make much of a splash for PC players. Forbes said in May that the Modern Warfare will feature input matchmaking similar to that used by Fortnite, which matches players together based on whether they are playing with a controller or mouse and keyboard. So basically the only advantage PC players will get, because they'll be mouse and keyboard players will be matched with other mouse and keyboard players, the only benefit a PC player will get will be input lag, frame rates, refresh rates, and all that sort of stuff. So the whole, all that sort of stuff. So, bits and pieces. So that's really cool. I like the fact that it's cross-platform, and the more cross-platforms that come out, the better. Because I'm not really into the whole, console peasantry and all that sort of stuff. If you've got a gaming platform, then you're a gamer, and if you love gaming, then great, that's fantastic. Whether it's PC, PlayStation, Xbox, I don't really care. But in a nutshell, PC is not as popular as console. That's the end of the day. That's a fact. So, and if you put console in the terms of how many people own a PlayStation, plus how many people own an Xbox, plus how many people own a Nintendo Switch, compared to how many people own a PC, it's a massive difference. So I'll find that I play a lot of games that I play online, and I already play with other PC players that are really good for the first couple of months, and then hardly anyone's playing. And the only time when you can play it is in peak times. So because that's when people are playing it, and it's because there aren't as many people that own the game on PC. So one of those great examples was the latest Star Wars Battlefront 2. I remember playing Star Wars Battlefront 1 on PlayStation. I really enjoyed the game. I was actually really good at the game. For some weird reason, I was natural at the game. I don't know what it was, but I was natural at it. I was always in the top 3 every single game I played. I don't know what it was, but I was natural. I was like,
some games are weird like that.
I know, right? Things like that. And the game was overflowing with, the lobbies were constantly overflowing. You never had to wait for a game, and blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. And then Battlefront 2, I know that the whole EA loot boxing pay-to-win shit didn't help. But within a few weeks of me getting Battlefront 2, I struggled to get a game. Absolutely struggled to get a game because just not many people buy these games on PC. So, and it's the same if I turn cross-platform off on Rocket League. You wait ages to get a game. If you're only going against other PC players, you wait ages to get a game because there's just hardly any PC players that play. It's usually Xbox or PlayStation. So, and that's the thing. So the more cross-platform games that come out in the future, the better. And when you hear that it's going to be controller versus controller, keyboard and mouse versus keyboard and mouse, that's brilliant. That's what I like to hear, because then it just makes it just that little more beneficial. I know there won't be as many keyboard and mouse console players out there because they've been using, controllers for a long time, but it will just increase the player base tenfold and all that sort of stuff. So that's a bit of good news. I really liked it when I heard that. So that is my third topic for the day. What else?
Sweet. Also, talking about like loot box now, my brother was saying that he doesn't want to get the new Wolfenstein because it's just loot boxes now, and it just falls away from the story that Wolfenstein was. I don't know if if you like the loot box kind of stuff.
Well, yeah. Depending. See, Rocket League is all it's all cosmetic loot boxes. You got to pay for keys and all that sort of stuff. That doesn't bother me. So it's not pay to win. It's just that whole when you can basically pay to to unlock certain characters, you've got to be a certain level. So you can pay money to level yourself up to get certain characters which are very powerful characters which can help you win games and all that sort of stuff. So, even though Rockstar has been somehow flying under the radar for years because, they have certain cars that you buy in GTA Online that are faster than other cars, and if people don't have the money, they have to grind to get the money. And they make they make the faster cars, the better cars, more expensive. But if you just buy a shark card, you can get the faster car. Therefore, when you play races that are custom races that have no catch up on, you will most likely win the race. Be in the top 3 because you've got the fastest car compared to people that don't have the money to buy the shark cards to get the fastest car. So Rockstar have been doing it for years, and they've always flown on the radar. But because it's so EA's games when it comes to Star Wars Battlefront or Battlefield and all that sort of stuff, because it's so PvP, it's a lot more PvP than what GTA 5 is, because that was the main source of the game. EA's starting to go from single player to pure online multiplayer, and when it's pure online multiplayer, they outsource these loot boxes to make everyone more powerful. By spending money, it pisses people off. So, yeah, it's just that whole thing.
Yeah, I can see why it would as well.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time, man. But, yeah.
Cool. All right, back to me. Turn my attention to, the Nintendo 64 and Goldeneye 007. DOS. So good. For those who owned a copy of this classic, I'm sure... Well, I know for a fact that my youth was just an ample supply of just shooting the shit out of people with the PP7. I don't know why, but even with auto machine guns and that, I used to just destroy with the PP7, and my brother would just get annoyed when he'd pick out like an RCP-90 and try and blast me, and I'd just take him out with the PP7. He'd be like, what? So but we and if you ever play multiplayer, which is probably what you remember Goldeneye for, we always used to hate our friend that would pick Oddjob, which is funny because Oddjob, I think Knick Knack was the one that was meant to be the small one, so I don't know how Oddjob got small in that game. Anyway, doesn't matter. Rare fucked it. But either way, it's mainly known for multiplayer, but this actually turns attention to the story mode of Goldeneye. You probably don't have, although, is the ability to say that you've completed the game firing only one bullet. You wouldn't have thought that feat was possible, but in all honesty, the speedrunning community, a guy called Goose, has done exactly that. He has beaten GoldenEye 007 only firing one bullet. The entire game.
Yeah, right.
So... he details how it can all come together in a video, but for the most part, it turns out you're able to use speedrunning techniques just to simply charge your way through each level and bypass the guards in your way, or at the very least lure them into dropping mines. Certain levels are obviously much harder than others, because when you take into consideration that you've got extra goals like collecting key cards and all that kind of stuff, as well as civilians, you've got to keep some civilians alive and whatnot. That gets harder. But what he does is using the trusty technique we know as slappers only, of whacking everything that moves with a quick hand chop. And it's actually fairly super effective. So What about the one bullet? What do you think the one bullet would be needed for, Naz? Of all things, what do you think the one bullet is? The one bullet he needs to fire.
Let me think. Trying to remember. I don't know, actually. I'm just going to say I don't know.
On the very first stage, you need to fire a bullet at that lock to open it up on the dam level.
I thought it was. I actually
Because even if the guards shoot it, you can't open it up. So you can do the entire game using only that one bullet on the first stage, where it's not even used for shooting a person to do it. Weird.
Now, did he do this on the easiest mode or the hardest mode? Or?
I believe it was on Secret Agent, so the mid.
Interesting.
So, yeah. There's a video, I've got to send it to you, where he does the whole bloody thing just with slappers.
Classic. That is absolutely
I know,
classic.
very, very good. So Goose and the speedrunning community, some speedrunners are so clever, but the fact he didn't really use any glitches to do it either, he played the entire game the way it should be, but just charged through to people. So good on him. I thought that was pretty damn cool, so it deserved a crack and a mention.
I know, right? That is
It's
so
impressive.
funny. Classic.
Right.
Gives a new term to slapping.
If you play multiplayer at slappers only, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
Alright, cool. I'll throw it back to you.
Right, man. Alright, so my fourth and final topic before my honourable mentions is, as I was talking about last week, about GTA Online bringing its new Diamond Casino update. Well, in a wake of it, a week later, GTA has come out and said that in the week coming out of its release, it has had the biggest days ever in the 6 years after launch, and thanks to that update. So more than 6 years after launch, it launched in October 2013. Grand Theft Auto 5's online mode continues to set records. The new Diamond Casino update was immensely popular, giving GTA Online the most number of players in a single day on July 23rd for an entire week after launch, July 23rd to 29. Developer Rockstar Games shared these numbers with Hollywood Reporter. However, the always secretive company did not share the specific player numbers in November. Did not share the specific player numbers. In November 2015, GTA Online averaged 8 million players per week. So the new figure related to the Diamond Casino update is at least known to be higher than that. So GTA 5, meanwhile, has shipped a jaw-dropping 110 million copies worldwide, making it one of the most successful entertainment products in history. The Diamond Casino update for GTA Online is a massive, rich in content, and in addition to finally letting players into casino, they can gamble. The update contains 6 new story missions and numerous other ways to competitive modes. You can read GameStop's previous coverage, blah 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 blah, all that sort of stuff. So basically, yes, I remember saying years ago, within months of it coming out, I was like, fuck, wouldn't that be cool if that casino was open and we could play some blackjack or some poker and do this and do horse races and all that sort of stuff. I remember people saying that within months of it happening, and I think I said that last podcast, that everyone, that was like the next big thing that everyone kept on saying, is that when's the casino going to open? And people were saying that for years, and every time there was the next update with like the whole stunt races and this and that, people were like, who cares about this? Open the casino already. When are we going to open the casino? When can we play some blackjack? All this sort of stuff. When can we gamble? When can we do this? When can we do that? And so 6 years later, I am not surprised that it's made the game just sort of rebirth itself. And then at the same time, when something is doing well, keep doing it. And when they knew that everyone wanted the casino, yet GTA Online was doing so well, what was the point? They were waiting for it to decline, and then bang, I reckon they had the casino ready to go from day one, and just waiting for the right time, the window of opportunity to release it before the game just completely died. So so it's probably within their rights to the right time to release it, and it's just awesome. 110 million copies being shipped, and then they know that 110 million people will put the game back in their console or bring it out of their library just with this update, which I did, funny enough. It was marketing done well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Rockstar is arguably the most successful gaming company in history, and their marketing is literally just second to none. And a lot of other gaming companies can take take notes out of this gaming company. I mean, every gaming company will always have bugs. They will always have their problems. Rockstar handles them reasonably well, but they've been responsible for having the most popular gaming titles in history, arguably, and they have done it really well. And these guys are literally gods when it comes to gaming marketing, and other companies are simply just jealous, and EA is one of them. So, these guys are just gods when it comes to gaming online marketing and all that sort of stuff. So, and the funny thing is about with these figures, remember I was saying to you last week in the podcast that 50 countries couldn't access the casino. Imagine if these countries could, how many more players would have been playing the game?
Insane.
So,
insane.
Absolutely, man. So that's a scary number. That's a scary figure. So, yeah, man. They've shipped 110 billion.
Taking money from people and flying under the radar, though.
I know. The way that they've done it is just really smart. They just have done it really, really smart.
Smart and annoying as well, because they're doing it and people don't see it.
It's almost like they've made the game PvP, but not PvP enough for people to care about having to get the best of the best. So, because like I said, you can buy the big powerful guns by using your real money to get a shark card and buy the big powerful guns, and you can go and wreak havoc, but no one really cares about wreaking havoc in free mode. And then you go and play certain modes online, like the death matches and that won't allow those guns and all that sort of stuff. So they find ways around it, like with the car races. Sure, you have the money to buy the fastest car, but not if you're racing in the race where it's all to do with the supercars. If you end up playing sports cars or any other car, then the money you spent on upgrading, getting the best supercar now becomes redundant. So, and you know what I mean? It's not PvP enough specifically because it's not specifically revolved around the races. It's revolved around other things. So they are being really, really smart with making it pay to win. It is literally pay to win. The game is online is purely pay to win. But because it's so widespread with their PvP, it's not around the one concept like Battlefield or like Battlefront or Call of Duty. So if all the game is about getting a gun or having a character that's more powerful, and the only way you can get it is by doing 100 hours of gameplay or $100 on your credit card, then that's instantly it. And if it's the only thing you do in the game is play this character, of course people are going to crack the shits. So they've come really, really good with that, mate. So that is my fourth and final topic before I move on to my honourable mentions.
I'll kick on with my honourable mentions then, as that's where I'm up to. So a few things. Talking about mobile games, Pokemon Go has just been downloaded a mind-boggling 1 million times. As opposed to as of yesterday. So it's staggering statistics, but on a side note, of course, the number of downloads an app receives does not necessarily equate to the number of active players it has, so keep that in mind as well. But for a phone app, 1 million times is pretty damn cool. So good on them for that. Also, the new Nintendo Switch game Trials program will let you play Mario Tennis Aces for free. So a new endeavor called Game Trials will soon give Nintendo Switch Online subscribers a chance to play Mario Tennis Aces for free. The game will be available to play from 7th of August until the 13th of August if you're an active subscriber to Switch Online, as either part of a full subscription or even if you're just using a free 7-day free trial. You could be able to find an option to download the software on the eShop. It will also be 33% off during that time if you try it out and want to purchase it. We've had demos for Mario Tennis Aces in the past and Captain Toad. You receive and also just received the full game for free treatment in Japan. So what they're doing is they're trialing something called Switch Game Trials, where they'll give you a game to try for 7 days, and if you like it, give you 33% off. You can buy it for, at a third, 2/3 of the price. But you can play it for free for a week. So I've not seen that be done before. Very clever marketing. So if you've wanted to try Mario Tennis Aces, give it a bash. 7th to the 13th. Give it a good old go. I might actually grab a copy of it and stream it, even though I don't own the game. That'd be fun. Nintendo's very own Gaming Expo returns this October with Nintendo Live 2019 Kyoto, Japan. So they've revealed that they'll once again host its very own Gaming Expo in Japan this year, with Nintendo Live 2019 scheduled to take place in October. We'll be kicking off on 13th of October at Kyoto International Conference Center. Likely following a similar format to last year's event, it will feature tournaments for games such as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Splatoon 2, and Super Mario Maker 2, other events on stage, playable demos of brand new titles, and etc. Other events include a Splatoon concert, which will no doubt be fantastically fresh, and even a Super Mario Maker 2 stage show featuring comedy duo Yuiko, whoever they may be. Nintendo also announces its plans for Gamescom earlier today, revealing that it will share new gameplay videos of several top games coming to Switch in the near future. So I'm hopefully looking for some more Breath of the Wild 2 footage there. That would be amazing. Also, I think we're going to find out more about Luigi's Mansion as well. Who wants to take one for the team? And there you go. And buy flight tickets for everyone to go. I would love to go to that. Someone wants to buy me a ticket to go to Nintendo Live in Japan. I won't say no. I've never been to Japan. I've never wanted to go to Japan until now. So buy me a damn ticket. So that's my honourable mentions. That's cool. That Mario Tennis Aces thing's pretty cool. Trial the game for free for 7 days.
Mate, I'd love to go to Japan. Japan and China has got some of the richest culture in history on Earth. So there's so much awesome Japanese culture that's part of today's pop culture, especially that you just love, reading about and hearing about and all that sort of stuff. So
not even just that, you can play. You can actually go and do Mario Kart on the main roads in Japan. Tokyo. I know, right? Who wouldn't want to do that?
Because it's just, honestly, people say, I've never been to Japan, and that's why I want to go. People say, Japan's 10, 20 years ahead of us, when it comes to technology and just, their culture's thousands of years ahead of us, most of the population around the Earth. But they've got some of the richest culture in the world, and I would love to go and, spend a bit of time in Japan, even live in Japan for a while.
I'll miss you if you go.
That'd be awesome. I doubt it would ever happen. No, I wouldn't end up going because I'll get homesick really quick. But I'd love to go to Japan for 2 or 4 weeks and just experience their culture. I know, become a samurai for.
I can imagine the two of us going over there and search for video games and unrecognized stuff that we wouldn't get here. Wouldn't that make a good vlog? Right? Vlog series.
Yeah, man.
the JayNAS take on Japan.
Yeah, exactly. JayNAS take Japan. Yeah, classic. But speaking of Japan, believe it or not, that my first topic with my honourable mentions also have a lot to do with Japan, because of course PlayStation 4. Now PlayStation 4. Why has that gone over my screen? That is really weird because that's sucking balls. Anyway. The PlayStation 4 has now sold over 100 million consoles, which is really awesome. The sales are slowing because of the PS5 has been announced, which is, inevitable and duh. So, but it was at 96.8 million back in March, and now it's been reported that they have now hit the 100 million milestone, which is really, really awesome. Compared to the previous quarter, the number of unit sales is up by 600,000. The figure is identical to the same quarter last year, which is also 3.2 million sales. But they're basically saying that despite good news, the sales of PlayStation 4 is slowing in recent times. 17.8 million of the consoles were sold last year. That's 2 million fewer than 2017, which was also down compared to the 20 million sold in 2016. With the PlayStation 5 set to launch in the fall of 2020, Sony has lowered feature sales expectations for the PlayStation 4 for the fiscal year of 2019, which stretches from April 1 2019 to March 31, 2020. So it predicts that 15 million PS4s will sell 1 million fewer than it had previously estimated. So that in a nutshell is predicted. As long as they keep selling the console part, well, that's a bit hard to say because the PS5 is rumoured to be the first console in the generations that have backwards compatibility. So there's almost no reason to keep the PlayStation 4 around. But I remember when the PlayStation 3 was released and Sony said they'll keep the PlayStation 2 going, including games. So what was released on PlayStation 3 would also be released on PlayStation 2, so on and so forth. So that'd be cool if Sony keeps to its tradition. And I think they did the same thing with PS3 as well when they released PS4. What was released on PS3 also came out on PS4 for a little while, and then they stopped. So I remember when they did with the Xbox, when they released the Xbox 360, they completely shut down the Xbox, which was gay. So, but they'll have to wait and see. So it was big congratulations, big good news to 100 million PlayStation 4 consoles sold for Sony, which is pretty awesome. And of course, my next and final honorable mention is they are doing the remastered version of Ghostbusters, a video game in time, coming out for Halloween. So I'm afraid of no ghosts, but I'm afraid, however, of Halloween without a handful of fresh and spooky video games to play through. Lucky for me, both Luigi Mansion 3 and Ghostbusters, the video game remaster, will be coming in October, which you just mentioned before, I think. The official Ghostbusters, the video game remaster Twitter account announced that the Ghost Hunting Adventure will be launched October 4, 2019 for Nintendo Switch, PC, PS4 and Xbox One. So that's really, really awesome. So it's the remake of the 2009 version. So the remaster was announced back in May with the original cast of the movie: Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis and Ernie Hudson, all lending their voices to the game, which is cool. Aykroyd and Ramis did some work on the story as well, which is really, really awesome. So it's got to be close to authentic with the original voices and casting in there, which is really, really cool. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
And R.I.P. to Harold Ramis, because he's not been around for a couple of years. He was one of the writers of Ghostbusters too. Yes. So him and Dan Aykroyd, which I'm glad he wasn't alive to see the abomination they gave it. But yet again, we're hoping for a 2020 new Ghostbusters movie with the proper Ecto in it. So
yes.
I just have a love for Ghostbusters because, like, you know, when you're born and you have like a nice, like, cute teddy, it's always your teddy that you're a soft toy when you're a baby, and it's your first teddy kind of thing. I had Slimer.
Oh,
I had when I was like a young kid, and I was a baby. I was just pulling something off of a shelf because I was just a shit-ass kid. Probably was a shit-ass kid. I was a baby. So, but yeah, I was just, literally, I kept pulling this soft toy off a shelf as a kid, just waving around, not being able to talk. It was a green fucking Slimer pillow, and that was the thing I had, and still have to this day. That was my baby toy. And, he sits on the shelf behind me. You might see him in some of my videos. He sits on my shelf. But yeah, I everyone had all these babies. I had this freaking green ghost. That was my thing.
That's pretty awesome, man. That's pretty good. So, shall we do our little jingle? Do our little jingle and announce our This Day in Gaming and...
Yeah, alright. Let's play the always different, always amazing jingle for This Day in Gaming in 3, 2, 1, go! Today in video game history! Quality.
I'm just mind blowing. Just, you know, it's just amazing. Who needs Viagra when you got that jingle? So, just amazing.
Oh, yeah, because it's definitely not my voice. That person's got an amazing voice. An amazing voice.
Yes. Terribly horrible and awesome at the same time. It's great. I mean, mine's exactly the same. I mean, how can you get rid of a classic? But, yeah, definitely.
Mine just, it makes you climax, I tell you. All right, here we go. 2006. So 13 years ago. It still sounds weird saying that's 13 years ago. 2006, Konami Computer Entertainment Studio closed down in Hawaii, which was their main one at the time. The reason being is the Konami Corporation closed the doors as a result of recognition of a company and to shift their resources to LA and their Las Vegas facilities. So they actually closed the doors to their very main studio in the US of A and made a leap to Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So not a game that came out, but Konami made the big bold move to shut down their main area in the States and move along, which I thought was actually pretty damn cool. So, also on that day in 2006, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting went to Xbox 360, but that's not my important thing.
That's pretty awesome, man. I feel, yes, it just feels, 2006 feels like it was just yesterday. It was the same birth of year as my oldest daughter, Tanisha. She was born in 2006 as well.
It's crazy, hey? It's really, really weird. It doesn't feel like that's 13 years ago.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. Cool.
Anyway, flipping it back to you.
So, right, do you feel old yet? Which our concepts of our little topics here is pretty much identical.
All right.
But yes, do you feel old yet? So, 1992, 27 years ago, I was about 8 years old.
I was 3,
and it was the official release of the arcade version of Mortal Kombat. First game where we beat 'em up, side-scrolling, beat 'em up fighter game, where they used the pixel sprite technology, like video footage sprite technology, what it was. We saw blood and fatalities and all that sort of stuff, and pit kills and all that sort of stuff. It was just insane. I remember seeing it for the first time, and the characters, the figures, the way they moved, and the way they looked.
Crazy.
They looked like real people, and it was mind blowing. It was absolutely mind blowing. So, all the special moves and all the fatalities, watching Sub-Zero uppercut someone and they pull their head off with their spine still attached, was pretty amazing. And I'm 8 years old, and I'm watching all this sort of stuff, and there's blood going everywhere. And
Mummy, I want that.
I want one of them, please. So, and of course, that game made me think that the uppercut was probably the most effective fighting move in real life as well. So I thought, if any kid tries to bully me at school, I'll do a Mortal Kombat uppercut, and they'll go flying in the air and they'll fall back. In
theory, it works.
So, well, you don't realise how telegraphing it is, and they actually sort of have to stand there, or you have to time it right when they jump up in the air and do a front flip, and they go to fly kick you, and then
you can uppercut at the end of the heel and they just go flying.
Yeah, exactly. And the kid at school make a noise or something. So, yeah. But no, of course.
It's funny you saying Mortal Kombat. The arcade came out in '92 because in '96 Mortal Kombat 2 was released on the PlayStation. So there you go, 4 years later.
There you go. There you go, buddy. There you go. So, unless you got anything else that you want to add before we wrap this up?
No, I've got to go and save my voice a bit. I'm secretly dying.
I'll let you go. So, to everyone out there, thank you very much for listening and joining us on our JayNAS Podcast number 13. You are all up to date on the latest PC, console, retro, and Nintendo news. And of course, I will leave a link in the description below to JayNAS, to Jason616's channel with all his retro stuff. And of course, as always, Jace.
Same thing in the description below. Find a link to see NASG gameplays. Check out his channel. Subscribe to him. He's great. He's
yes.
He's the host, man. No, he's got some good content. And see some of the collabs that we've done, us playing games. It's all good fun. So go check out his channel and some of his content. The future Rocket League master at his best.
Yes, I will. Yes, I try. I try. But guys, thanks very much for joining us. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe on your thoughts on some of the topics tonight as well. Were we racist? I don't think so. Let us know.
Except if you're South African,
guys,
maybe don't comment. It might be for the best.
Yeah, maybe. But we'll wait and see. All right, guys. We'll see you all in the next JayNAS podcast.
Bye.
Bye.